One of the advantages of living in the state of Oklahoma is that we have a world-class network for monitoring the weather. This is the Oklahoma Mesonet. This is an Oklahoma Mesonet site. There are actually 120 Mesonet sites across the different 77 counties in Oklahoma. And the Mesonet, like I said, is a world-class network. It can give you real-time information about temperature, precipitation, incoming solar radiation, and wind speed. And what we can do with those variables is we can combine those to help farmers and ranchers to help make management decisions. For example, one of the things that the Mesonet has developed is a farm monitor tool that you can get on the website, www.mesonet.org. And the farm monitor tool will give you critical indicators, such as a cattle comfort indicator. It also tells you about evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration is the combined amount of water that leaves the soil through evaporation and also the transpiration from the plants. So it really talks about how much water is actually being used by the plant, and therefore maybe how much water you need to add as an irrigator. It also has tools that talk about the drought index. And so you can use that information to make management decisions, such as decisions related to cropping practices or decisions relative to livestock and forage growth.
Hi, I'm Al Sutherland, and I work through biosystems and ag engineering here at OSU with the Water Center. And part of the Oklahoma Mesonet, our weather monitoring network that we have across the state. And we're going to take a look at some of those things that we use to monitor rainfall, groundwater, and soil moisture on the Mesonet. So the first thing that I wanted to show you was the rainfall. And if we go into that section, we have a choice of looking at either some long-term rainfall or some short-term. Long-term, I really like the monthly rainfall tables. Those show the monthly amounts of rainfall going back to January 1st, 1994, or to when the station was first established. And we can add in estimated values within that table, and that really helps fill things out. Those estimated values are our best estimate of the rainfall that fell. The other thing that we have in that rainfall section are maps that show how much rain has fallen going back a full 365 days, or we can bring those up as short a time period as 1 hour. What's nice about those maps, if we go in and take a look at one of them, and here we're looking at the 60-day rainfall map, is that they use radar estimates of rainfall from the National Weather Service River Forecast Center. And they take our rain gauge data from the Mesonet and use that to ground truth the radar. And that gives us a very good estimate of what fell between the different Mesonet towers, and is much better than the old days when we had just an average. So that's the supply side if we're looking at how much rain fell. The other thing that we have available on the Mesonet is soil moisture, and this is the amount of water that's actually moved into the soil. And we have a number of different ways of looking at that. One of those is the plant available water, and we can look at the surface to 4 inches, the surface to 16 inches, or the surface down to 32 inches. And this is actually measuring the water available for plants to take up, to grow from in that column. And typically we often look at the surface to 16 inches. The plant available water gives us the amount of that water in inches that's available. We can also look at that as a percent. So we can see when the soil can't take up any more water when it gets up close to that 100% versus those soils that are very, very low. And right now out at Altus, they're at 20%. If we go way out west, Boise City, they're at only 12%, which means that they could add back in 88% water before they hit full capacity. So that's a column measurement. The other measurement that's really interesting to take a look at Our point measurements, we list those as fractional water index, and we have those at 2 inches, 4 inches, 10 inches, and 24 inches. So we can look at a number of different depths on the fractional water index. And right now, if we take a look at those in November 2014, we can see that we have some good surface water across the state, but as we go down deeper, we can really see the effects of drought in those drier, deeper soil levels. Another thing that we can monitor on the Mesonet for not a whole lot of sites, but we actually have dynamic groundwater monitoring systems at a number of sites across the state. One of the things, that's a graph, and we do need to be careful to check what level we are on the left side of the graph. This is showing the depth to the groundwater. So here at Chickasha, if we pull that up and look at that data, we're about 16 feet to 17 feet down to the groundwater. If we go out to a place like Weatherford and get that data, then the scale changes and we're actually going down about 140 plus feet till we get to that groundwater. Also, one of the things that farmers can use to really look ahead are the National Weather Service forecast precipitation maps. These are really handy because while it's a coarse data set, it gives you a forecast of rainfall over a geographic area. And we're looking here at a map on November 20th, and we're looking out from November 20th to November 25th, and we have a map that shows pretty heavy rainfall in the southeast part of the state, moving back towards the central part of the state. But we actually have an estimate of rainfall amounts over a 5-day period. So it's really a nice tool to look at forecasts in a new way. You can access Mesonet data at mesonet.org, that's MESONET.org, or download the iPhone app or the Android app, and they display the rainfall maps on there and a number of different other weather parameters.